building a platform, especially in these days, it's very easy. Yeah, anyone can build a product now. 20 years ago, you could say I spent £500 or dollars on Google, I get 20,000 in return. You could actually say that. You can't actually say that anymore. So you might have the best product in the world, but if nobody knows you, so best known beats best.
The Operator Podcast by Circle.cloud.
Joao, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Fantastic. Thanks for having me. Lovely to seeing you.
Likewise. Why don't we start with an introduction of who you are and what it is that you do?
Sure. So my name is Joao Bocas. I always say that Portuguese national, born in Lisbon, and I came to UK about 25 years ago. I always say that I have two passions, sports and health. And sometimes I match them up. I work in healthcare, primarily my industry, as you know, but I've done lots of stuff. So Portuguese national, I have a boy here in UK, David. He's growing fast, he's 14. Yeah, and life is good.
Sports and health, I mean, they're related, right? But you are also in tech.
Yes, I'm in tech. I've been in digital health per se for the last 15 years.
And how did you get into that? Because sports and health don't necessarily lead you straight into tech. So how did you then end up in digital health or digital health tech?
That's a fantastic question because I end up in tech by accident. Not accident, but I've never been like a tech person. Yeah, I use technology, but it's not my area of expertise. I'm not one of these geeks that is trying everything. But back in 2015, I was looking for an opportunity to do something in technology around health. Yeah, and I was in sport. I was a football coach, as I told you before. I was a football coach for a number of years, and I've been in health and fitness. And I started doing a lot of corporate wellness back then in London. I had big clients like Channel 4 TV, BBC, big insurance companies. I was doing corporate wellness, advising for employee well-being programs, stress management. And then one day I met a guy that was the tech guy, and we partnered to do a digital health company. The idea was, the company was called Self-Care People. It didn't go well. I think we had a big vision to create a platform for wearables data and for preventative healthcare with the health analytics and everything. But I think it was too early. And also, unfortunately, my business partner really didn't develop the product. So I was going out for a period of time with a product that never really matured, really.
So you were driving engagement and building awareness of something that didn't actually exist, and it wasn't progressing to the point that you were expected to believe that it would progress to. Is that what happened?
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, I was going out. I was more the business guy. I'm like the face of the business and the social media guy. And we didn't really manage to even go to market. But it was very early on in digital health back then, even though a lot of stuff was happening. I always mention the Nordic countries are in health tech are very forward thinking, and I've done a lot of consultancy with companies from Finland, Norway, Denmark. The Nordics are very good with the health.
Oh, interesting. Why is that? Is it just
I don't know. I think it's probably a cultural thing. And also they are encouraged to, public health in those countries is really good, well organized, well structured. They complain they pay a lot of taxes, but they got a lot in return too, yeah?
Makes sense.
So
what would you say that you've learned from the experience with your co-founder? If you were to do it again, what would you say is different? What would you do differently now if you were to start a business with a co-founder now?
Yeah, I would say the product, of course, is extremely important, but I wouldn't say I necessarily started to build like the big thing around the product. I'll probably try, because healthcare is very fragmented and healthcare is very complex. I'm talking about that because that's what I know, even though I had a lot of other experiences in other areas. But I would say I tried to really understand the market, find a problem to solve, get the product market fit, and then eventually really go for the product. You need to build alongside, Axel, as you know. You need to do lots of different things at the same time. But the experience that I've learned was a failure, but it served me well. We built a lot of momentum all around the product. The product will be this amazing thing, and sometimes it's not about the product. It is about the product, but it isn't. It's more about where the engagement coming from. Will people actually get it? Are you solving something meaningful? You know, because building a platform, especially in these days, it's very easy. Yeah, anyone can build a product now. Yeah.
I agree. And that's part of the problem that I have, because I'm a builder, I consider myself. But I was asking myself this morning, I'm a builder, but so you would say a builder, somebody that builds products that it sells 1 million units a month, let's call it, using 1 million users a month, versus somebody that also builds products that only has, let's say, 10 users a month or no users a month. Are they both builders? Yes, they are, right? It's the same way an artist that doesn't have anybody buy their paintings is still an artist, but it's just that maybe one's more successful than the other, right? But how do you, I think the biggest problem to solve, or the biggest challenge right now, is distribution. And that's, you believe distribution from your perspective, is that a problem that you've solved, that you're able to solve with your social media presence or with your sales strategies? How would you solve distribution for a software product in particular, for example, in the tech space? What would be your go-to-market strategy? If you were to launch something tomorrow, what would you say is, I would do this as the first 3 or 4 steps to get, the most momentum, the most engagement, the most interest out of people? What would you do?
Well, that's a $1 million question, isn't it? Everybody wants to solve that. And I follow a lot of technology entrepreneurs now from San Francisco and everything. And there is a very, as you know, very startup, a tech culture there. Everybody is building something. And distribution is key now, the go-to-market strategy, the social media. One thing I've been following, one of the trends that I've been following is founder-led marketing. So in order to get there, it is an amazing strategy. First, because marketing is fragmented, but it's also expensive, and doesn't necessarily give you the return that used to give you 10 or 20 years ago. In 20 years ago, you could say, I spent £500 or dollars on Google, I get 20,000 in return. You could actually say that. You can't actually say that anymore. So going back to your question, one thing I would really recommend to anyone is to build a personal brand and be extremely active on social media. Having said that, building on social media is becoming more challenging than ever. I've been fortunate to build a good following in my industry. On the back of that failure, of my startup failure, what happened was I built a personal brand and a name for myself in that industry for the last 16 years. And I became like a well-known guy in healthcare and digital health around the world. So I've done that on Twitter and on LinkedIn. I have a very strong LinkedIn, as you know. On Instagram and other platforms, it seems a bit trickier because they're more entertainment. I'm struggling with that, to be honest, to build like a big following on Instagram, because they're more entertainment platforms and a lot of people are there, different industries, different types of content. But I would definitely create a strong presence on social media, of course. That's paramount in these days. See the platform that suits you best, if it's LinkedIn or if it's X or if it's Instagram or TikTok. Create content and be out there. You need to be out there. People need to know you, and people, if they know you, you got a chance. I actually like this quote by one of the guys that I love, as you know, Grant Cardone. He says that best known beats best. Yeah, so you might have the best product in the world, but if nobody knows you, or your product might not be as good as mine, but you are very, very well known, so best known beats best.
I completely agree. And I'm noticing that founder-led growth is now beating product-led growth marketing strategies. And about 8 months ago, I decided to just put myself out there and just do something on social media, because I was completely off the radar. My Instagram was closed down, my Facebook was closed down, because I used it when I was a teenager, and when I was maybe 20, 22. I used to be a DJ, so I used to have a promotion of nights that I used to be DJing. And then I just realized that it's not really giving me any value. And I tried it for the business in 2015 when we first launched the business. I put some posts out, and the engagement was so minimal. It's because I wasn't doing it properly and I wasn't doing it consistently enough. So in the end, I thought Instagram has just got my friends from 2010 in here, and it's like my old school friends, and I just close it down. I didn't see any value in it. But then I see other founders that are growing their business they're creating an audience either on X or on their blogs or in LinkedIn and other platforms, on YouTube as well. They have an audience, which an audience of like-minded people. I think that's the key point. People that share the worldview of these founders. And it makes their business more successful because people buy from people. So you buy the person first, and then you buy the product. So that realization made me think, okay, when I need to do something. But I didn't want to spend all my time posting content online day in and day out. So I thought, can AI help? And that's a bit of a double-edged sword because yes, AI can help, but then you lose your authenticity if you're not too careful because you can just put a bunch of slop out there, which people are getting more sensitive about now than before. So I'm still trying to figure it out. And I went through the last 6, 8 months nearly. The journey has been interesting, and I've had 1 or 2 posts that have done really well, others that have done nothing, and it's just exploring how what is my message, what is my tone, what is my brand values, this is my personal brand, what do I stand for, what do I want to post about, and it's figuring that out. And at the moment I'm still posting on all platforms because I've got a workflow on AI that I base it from an idea, and then it distributes all the content on different platforms. It's easy for me to do it on all the platforms, but should I? And should I tailor more the content to the platforms? Because, for example, YouTube is done much better than Instagram. I don't know why. LinkedIn is kind of in the middle. It doesn't do very much, but I'm posting a lot because I'm breaking down the content into sub pieces, and then I'm filming it if it's a video piece, and then I'm getting AI to edit it for me, and AI just posts it. So I'm still trying to figure it out. It's just there's so many variables, isn't there? And what is the answer? How do you gain clarity with this?
That's fantastic what you shared, by the way, because the answer is no answer. Yeah, nobody knows the answer. Everybody thinks they know the answer. I don't know the answer, but what you shared was very powerful, Axel, because that it seems like it's the life of an entrepreneur. Yeah? We try things out, we figure out, we don't figure out, we try a different way, we're not sure. Yeah. So I'm with you on that. With me, it's kind of the same, and I try to follow like the big guns in US with millions of followers on Instagram. And sometimes I feel a bit bad because it's like, I don't have millions of followers. I'm not as good as him or her. But it's not about that. It's about that consistency. It's about trying things out. It's about finding what's actually satisfying for you. I've done it very well on YouTube. I created a healthcare YouTube channel during COVID because with all the lockdowns, I was thinking, how can I leverage my network? And I've done well on YouTube. I interviewed for 3-4 years the major global leaders in my industry. It was a very successful channel. And then I stopped. And now I'm also trying things out, yeah? I'm also trying content for different platforms. My main platforms, they have been Twitter and LinkedIn. For healthcare, they were the best platforms. And also, I'm more a B2B person, so it makes more sense.
Well, me too. And
yeah.
Did you have any particular pieces of content that you put out, either on X or LinkedIn or YouTube, that did like 100x outliers?
Yeah. Look,
and what were they?
I had one. My content is fairly engaging, and when I had the YouTube interviews, they was good. People check them out. I had a couple of 100 views. My engagement throughout the years on LinkedIn has been okay because I built an audience in my industry and people follow. The last year or so, I'm a bit annoyed with AI because the engagement on LinkedIn is much lower. Yeah, I used to get, it's not about the likes, but it's about the engagement. But I used to get 100 likes or whatever. Now you get like 10, 15 likes. Things are getting harder, but also I think people are bombarded with a lot of content, and a lot of content is AI, which is good and bad for us. It's good for us because we got a tool, save us time. We mix our creativity with AI. It's good to get a post in 10 minutes. We can, instead of writing 1 hour or 2 hour blog, that is good for someone like us. But at the same time, it's like everybody's doing that. So the engagement, the game has become harder, So now, and I noticed that you have to work extremely, extremely hard to get 1,000 followers or 1,000 views, or And before it was harder as well. But I remember when I started on Twitter in 2010 and on LinkedIn in 2012. I remember my first 1,000 followers on Twitter was very difficult. It probably took like 3 years. But then after that, I pick up a bit of momentum. Now to get 1,000 followers is really, it might take more than 3 years. I don't know, but it seems harder.
It's a noisier world, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems harder.
Do you use AI for your content?
I use AI, yeah. I give a prompt and also I work with my ideas with the title or whatever that is, and sometimes I get a bit of content from somewhere else and change a bit. Or
Yeah.
I used to write everything original.
Yeah.
Everything, all my content was like okay. But yeah,
How
you
do
want
you
to save time, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. and the thing is, do you use a chat GPT kind of interface, Claude interface, or do you have like a workflow on Claude Code, or what do you use?
I use a bit of Claude now. I use
Claude.
a bit of Claude, yeah.
Like Cowork or Claude Chat, or is it
Claude Chat, yeah.
Claude Chat?
Because I can manage to kind of put the structure together very quickly and
Yeah.
then just adjust, to be honest.
And how do you find it when do you find that it spits out like Americanisms, or it uses like the double dashes, you know, the M dashes?
Yeah,
Does it
that
do
is
that?
annoying, yeah.
And what do? You decided not to do that every time, or
I sometimes I go back and do a comma or change a little
You
bit.
modify it.
Yeah, I try it. But I think LinkedIn, especially LinkedIn, is very, it detects that is AI. I don't know. I think it detects that is
and
AI.
it suppresses the reach, yeah?
I'm not sure, to be honest, Axel. I'm trying to figure it out, yeah.
You know, it's funny because I'm noticing there's more and more feedback from people that are just not interested in AI slop, because it's content that's been generated with no effort, and it's annoying people.
Yeah.
So how do you combat that? And there's another one with people wanting more content with actual people and physical interaction, obviously real life interactions, right? Rather than having it online. I thought that video content would be more successful than text content, because the video, you can't fake it. Maybe there's something there, but I've heard that live streams are exploding right now because you can't fake that. You can't edit it.
Yeah.
And it's literally just live data. And I was thinking of doing some podcasts live, because that would mean literally it's broadcasted at a particular time and it goes out and it's done. Saves time with editing, and it makes you look more real. And I think that's
more authentic. Yeah.
More authentic, yeah.
Yeah, I remember, for example, when LinkedIn launched the LinkedIn Live, you have to use other platforms to get the content live, like the stream platforms, but it never really took off.
LinkedIn
Never
Live,
really,
I've never heard of that. When was that? When was that?
You can actually record on LinkedIn.
What now?
Yeah, you can record, but you have to use like an external platform to do the recording. Yeah, but the engagement, even people like from my industry with a lot of followers, the engagement is always very, very, very low. I don't know why, because LinkedIn was not built for that, I suppose. The YouTube is great, but I know YouTube is it takes time to really get and again, Axel, what I notice is, for example, this is great, but the professional content, it doesn't do as well as the entertainment content. If you go and do like something really crazy on the streets or whatever, people like that, because the big audience is, okay, we have our industry, we are business people first and foremost, but the entertainment industry, it's where millions of people spend millions of hours scrolling, yeah? And if they see a podcast, they must scroll, and they see something crazy, a prank or whatever, they engage on that, yeah? It's
Short
just the
attention
nature,
spans.
it's just the nature of, is the nature of social media. A lot of people are encouraging me to go on TikTok. I consider myself like a funny person with a lot of energy, I got crazy ideas, I can do this, I can do that. But I don't see myself like on TikTok. But people are encouraging me to go on TikTok because TikTok is like upcoming platform for content is really good.
I agree.
Yeah, so yeah.
100% do it. Because there's also business people on TikTok, and it's about repurposing the content. It's about shortening it down and clipping it and making it. For example, this show, we will clip it and we'll create different snippets and we put it on Instagram and on TikTok. So yeah, I completely agree. You've branded yourself as the Wearables Expert, right? What's the story behind that?
Yeah, as I told you, I was in health and fitness for a long time, and when wearables, I was working in London in corporate wellness, and I'm from the time of the pedometers. single digit. Do you remember that? There was a long time ago. So I was doing like stuff. And then when the wearables came out, like Fitbit launched its first wearable like in 2011, and I was interested, and I started using wearables. And then, like halfway of my journey in digital healthcare, I thought, right, how can I create a brand, a differentiator for myself? I was already doing well in digital health, getting known, but then I thought, right, the wearables expert. Yeah, even now today, people recognize, and I've not been pushing a lot of wearable content lately. I will, because I'm waiting for another Ring 5.
Yeah.
So I will again. But I always done stuff around wearables. So I create this, this brand. It's been powerful. I've been writing a book on wearables as well.
Have you?
Yeah, but I'm a slow writer. I could do a lot of AI on that actually, but also I use technology, but I'm not a technology like lover. Yeah, I like crazy about technology and data. I'm not. Yeah, so things sometimes take time. I'm more a people person. When you mentioned, when you invite me, I was extremely pleased to meet you, but also to have a human life interaction. Because first and foremost, Axel, I'm a people person. I love networking. When I go networking, I'm in my element. Yeah. Today, I'm actually, after this recording, I'm going to London for a networking event. It's more a bit of a summer party because it's a rooftop with a DJ, but it's still networking. So I have to really challenge myself a lot to create a brand related to tech, because tech is not really is my industry, but it's not really my passion. It's not really where my heart is. Yeah. If we talk about football or sport, that's a different ballgame. I'm all in on that. But I'm pleased I create a brand for myself and people recognize me around the world. I've done lots of keynote speaking around wearables. I'm still doing, but I'm also exploring other avenues at the moment. Yeah.
Okay. Because when, in terms of the keynote speaking, is what keynote speakings have you done, and how do you get booked for that? Do you have like a website where you have the option to book me for speaking gigs? Is that what you have?
I had a website, but I was more booked around my industry and the conferences that I go to, and through LinkedIn a lot. Through people find me on LinkedIn. I think I've done well, and I'm easily found. You know.
Interesting. And what is Digital Salutem?
It's a global consultancy in digital health. So I offer like expertise, consultancy, a lot of social media. I was one of the first social media B2B influencers back then. You know, the influencer industry now is an industry in its own right, influencer marketing.
Yeah.
But 10 years ago, influencer marketing was very small. I mean, influencer, what does the influencer do? And also in my industry, I'll tell you a funny story. When I started in digital health, I had some business cards, #1 digital health influencer. And people ask me, what is that, digital health influencer? I say, look, I create content, I share the stories, I do this, I do that. So it's a kind of a new concept. Now you have the Instagram influencers and the B2B influencers. And I've done lots of stuff. I work with like Fortune 500s, with Huawei, Salesforce. I work with Vodafone. I've done a lot of stuff around influence. So I created Digital Salutem on the back of that startup failure. It's a consulting business. I don't have tech expertise. I didn't have money to build a product or a team. So I started Digital Salutem, yeah.
As a consultancy with a focus on branding and
the industry, digital health innovation, wearables, and then branding, social media, and and business development. I've done lots of stuff around helping companies go to different markets, US and Europe primarily. As I told you, I've done a lot of work with the Nordic companies trying to get to UK or trying to go to US.
And how do you land a client like Salesforce, for example?
I think LinkedIn helped me a lot because I positioned myself well on LinkedIn in my industry, and I kind of closed the gap with the big guys, and I became well known. With Salesforce, they had a particular challenge because they built a health platform, but they were not known in healthcare and life sciences. So they needed someone to kind of create content with them, share their content, someone that was already established in the industry. So I had a couple of engagements with them. They even sponsored my YouTube channel for a couple of months as well. So there was a nice client.
So they essentially hired you almost like an influencer in that space.
Yeah. They hired me as an influencer. Yeah.
That's cool because they reached out to you.
Yeah, initially, and then I kind of, I've done a few projects with them.
That's cool. So wearables is your thing. You want to grow beyond wearables, and your consultancy is now going to be more focused around sales and marketing and branding. Is that what you want to move towards?
Yeah, and also networking. I have an idea to create like look, I had this big vision to create the next LinkedIn. I know that's a bit of a challenge, and a lot of people tried to create a new networking platform and they failed because LinkedIn, they have more or less like mass market, you know. Because I'm a networker and I'm a people person, say, what can I do that is different than LinkedIn? Right, okay, a platform, a product, but also the face-to-face events. I've done a soft launch for this concept, and people are actually very interested, you already know this, in face-to-face and real-life events and networking activities. So I've been thinking about how can I merge both worlds, yeah? Give them a product to interact with each other, but also organize events they actually can meet in real life.
Okay, so it's a combination of both.
Yeah, combination of both. Yeah.
You know, there's one, you probably know about this. I think it's called Luma. Luma?
Yeah,
you know
the
about that?
events, that's like an events platform, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
is what you're thinking to do a similar thing where it's an events platform, or is it more around a network of people in different cohorts or different categories of people that then they meet up? Is that what the new idea is?
More about the networking, more about the business networking facility, you know, to help people to connect online, yeah, you can reach out, but also create events around the world. Because in my industry, for a period of time, I was testing a concept. I was not charging people or anything, but in my industry, I started to organize. Now it's very popular. A lot of people are doing that. I started organizing health tech in my industry, health tech leaders dinners.
Okay.
So I've done one in London, I've done one in Lisbon, I've done one in LA, one in Miami, one in New York. And it was really well received because one, I was inviting leaders to the table, small gathering, very intimate, 6 to 10 people, no fees, no memberships, just pay for your dinner. And people were extremely pleased because I had a lot of value because I introduced you, Axel, for example, with like really leaders in your industry. So I actually met the CEO for a ring in a dinner in in New York. And the people that were there, they were extremely pleased because the CEO for a ring came. Yeah, we became kind of friends. Tom is a really lovely person anyway. I actually met him in San Francisco in January and yeah, I love the brand, the ring, and yeah. So my concept is more about bringing people together.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mixing your passions, right? Your passions of networking of people, and then your industry experience in the wearable space. That, I mean, it kind of fits really well.
yeah. And I love people. I love the yeah.
So you also love the Oura ring.
I also love the ring. Yeah.
My wife is a really big fan of the Oura ring, and I never tried it. I was always a Whoop person, right? So, and I don't see the point of getting an Oura ring if you have the Whoop. But she's like, no, I'm not going to copy you. I'm going to get myself an Oura ring. And now she's the biggest fan and promoter of the Oura ring.
It's a nice tech.
Are you looking forward to the number 5
Yeah,
coming out?
yeah. I'm waiting. I'm not even wearing my number 4. I had Oura ring 2, Oura ring 4, and now I'm waiting for 5.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
Have you tried the Whoop, or is it?
I had never tried the Whoop.
It's a little bit like.
I try lots of wearables.
Yeah.
I tried Fitbits back then, and my work desk at home was full of wearables. I tried wearables from US. I tried the Apple Watch. I tried Garmin's. I tried lots of stuff, but I never tried Whoop.
It's a little bit like, I think, the Mac and PC race, you know, back in the day, where you either are a Mac person or you're a PC person. A bit similar with the Oura ring. You're either an Oura ring person or you're a Whoop person. It's like one or the other. You don't really get them, the sharing both. So you mentioned you're not an extremely strong person with tech, but you use tech. What does your tech stack look like in your consultancy business? What do you use as a day-to-day? Do you, you mentioned you use Claude. What do you use for CRM or for email? Or is it mostly a simple layer where you because you're by yourself right now in the business?
Yeah, now kind of. Yeah, I had like a team of 3. Now I'm kind of by myself. I use the Google Gmail and the storage and everything. Nice, simple, easy products. And for CRM, I use I forgot the name now. I use a nice. They actually finish as well. I put all my contacts there. Pipe Drive.
Oh, Pipe Drive.
Yeah, it's quite nice. It's easy to use. I could use the Salesforce CRM, but the Salesforce CRM is a bit more complex. It's a bit more robust. Yeah.
Yeah.
I never really. It's HubSpot. It's lots of them. Yeah. And now it's lots of
Yeah.
CRM. It's Monday and it's lots of products. Yeah. I used Pipe Drive for a while.
But your thing really, and I'm sensing it more and more, is the people side of things. Like who needs a CRM? You just pick up the phone, call the person, see him, go for coffee, you know?
Yeah. I struggle, Axel, between me and you, I struggle with CRMs. Because even I work with a guy, he was Spanish, yeah. And he said, Joao, you're not using the CRM. Yeah, you're right. I'm using, but I'm not using it because I don't like it. Yeah.
I just use my mouth and I communicate with people and that's it.
Yeah.
So what's next for your new business or the evolution of your consultancy business in terms of the next event maybe you're going to create or the next step? What is your next step to bring this idea to life? What are you doing next?
Yeah, very good question. I slightly pivot into, because I had this big vision to create the next LinkedIn, yeah? And I was thinking, right, I'm going to do like life skills, stay away from jobs, stay away from the jobs searches, stay away. I was thinking, create something different, no content driven, more interaction between people, events, interaction, messaging. And I was thinking, how can I add value? I love LinkedIn, don't get me wrong. But LinkedIn, you have to do all the legwork, and the value sometimes is questioned. And you see a lot of people, is premium worth, is not. I have my own opinions on that. But you have to do all the legwork. So my idea was, okay, what can I give to people? Okay, they subscribe to my B platform. I call it B. Let's call it B. B platform. What they give, they subscribe, they pay $69 or $99, whatever the price is. I want to give them a tangible return. 2 messages or 2 opportunities or 2 events or 2 something, yeah, for your $69 or $99, yeah. So that was my idea. I slightly pivot now into mentorship because I was trying to create too much events, communications, and now I'm thinking, start with one thing, like mentorship. Everybody needs mentorship. Even well-established people need like someone above them or with more experience. You can get ideas, or the questions on social media, all this stuff. So my idea is to make something work first, perhaps with mentorship, prove the concept, and then branch out. Eventually with events and other things. I like the events, yeah. Mm-hmm. But I was thinking, Axel, when I soft launch, I've done an event in Brighton, and I plan one event in London, and I was thinking, it's not scalable if I do an event a month. First of all, I didn't have much money, to be honest. And then I was thinking, if you do an event a month, let's say, the Brighton event was very well attended. I had about 40 people. But I was thinking, it's not really scalable. If you do an event a month, it's 12 events a year. I wanted to create like 10 or 20 events a month, yeah? But for that, you need a structure, you need a team, you need people like, it can't be me just get the venue, get the speaker, you know. So, yeah, it's a bit of a catch-22 because you need money, you need a structure, you need help, you know. So, yeah, my next step is to make the mentorship work and then eventually branch out. Someone gave me a really good idea about partnering, for example, with Luma or one of the events companies, that they could put the events in the platform free of charge, advertising in the platform free of charge, so people can get access to events. In London, for example, Axel, it's lots of events in tech. Yeah. I'm on Luma, yeah?
I'm on Luma as well. Yeah, and when I'm in London, I just scroll through it and there's multiple events per day in different places, all about free, AI or tech or whatever it is. And they're free to attend most of the time. You just have to register.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
So with your, but in Southampton, Brighton, and this area, there's not much happening. I mean, you can look at the events on Luma. There's not much going on, but so maybe there's something there where you can do a partnership with Luma. But also in terms of the mentorship, are you thinking of, if you're an experienced person, to offer yourself out as a mentor, and somebody that joins your platform would be able to then book them or hire them as a mentor? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I've been thinking about. I can help, but I've been thinking about creating a pool of mentors, hundreds of mentors. I need like the volume, yeah, and people access them, yeah. I'm still working on a business model per se, because one of the challenges is, how do you attract good mentors without paying them, or what's the incentive for them? So I have this out of the box concept of build to give. So the mentors give out their time, they give out their expertise, their life experience for nothing, in return of doing good for the world, being grateful, and helping others. I'm not quite sure if it's going to be realistic, yeah?
I was thinking more on the lines of, if you were to offer it either as a pay-as-you-go, where I go in and I want to get an expert advice on marketing, for example, and you've got a mentor there that's done a lot of successful bits of marketing, I'd pay 50 quid, 100 quid for a half an hour call with them, and I'd do that on a pay-as-you-go, or a subscription where I pay 20 quid a month or so. But if you can do it for free, then that would be and if you can get mentors to do it for free, but the people that are requesting a mentor paying for it, then that's a good business.
Yeah, it's a good business. It's challenging to make it happen. It's a platform that actually builds really well as you described, paying for the mentorship, and then they slice like a commission.
Yeah.
And they got hundreds of mentors, and they got thousands and thousands of users, because people need help, like an expert on social media, and it's a quick, instead of paying high fees for consultancy and coaching all the time, you can get a consultation with like a top person for $250, and you get expert advice.
Yeah, because there's a lot of friction with hiring a consultant. You've got to make sure you've got the NDAs in place. You've got to make sure you've got the consultancy agreement. You've got to negotiate all that stuff, with all the process that happens when you hire a new consultant, that going through this platform with eliminate, right?
Yeah. There are platforms out there doing that.
But yours is going to be different.
I would love to prove, it's a very challenging thing, but I love to prove the point that actually people, when they achieve a certain level or make a lot of money, they would love to help others.
That's true.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people out there. I know it's going to be difficult to actually acquire, between brackets, these lovely mentors, yeah? You might get a few, but it's going to be difficult, yeah? Because, I mean, people are busy, and the more successful you are, the busier you are, the more requests you get. Oh, speak here, speak there. Oh, help me, help. There's more success. So yeah, I'm not sure if it's tangible, but I'm gonna try. Yeah?
You're gonna go for it.
Yeah, and I have. I want to do well, as you know. I'm ambitious, but I have this thing about. I've been exploring. What is my purpose? How can I achieve like making money and do good for people?
Yeah,
I've been working on that for quite a while. I'm coming closer and closer, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a personal challenge. It's like, okay, I want to do well, yeah. If I just want to make money, I probably go to fintech or banking or whatever and just hustle all day to get lots of money, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't want just that. I want money. Don't get me wrong. I'm ambitious. I want to do well for myself, but I want to do something for the world as well.
Yeah, I feel you on the purpose thing, because it's finding. Have you heard of the ikigai? It's a Japanese proverb or something like that called the ikigai, and Ikigai, I think it is. And I have to remember exactly what it stands for, but essentially it's like a quadrant, and you have to find what you love to do in one side of the quadrant, like what do you love? The next side is what are you good at? The next side is what does the world need? What's something that the actual world needs? And the fourth one is, I don't remember, something on the lines of how do you fulfill it or something. But essentially, your purpose is sat in the center of that quadrant.
Wow.
And it's how do you find that? It's like what you're good at, what you love to do, what the world needs, and that last one. And I think everybody's trying to figure that out because you want to be happy,
Yeah.
but you also want to be productive and produce something for the world, and in return, gain wealth, right? So it's like a combination of everything. So yeah, I think we're all on the same journey, and yeah, it's good to hear that you are too. So Joao, how can people reach you if they want to get hold of you? And
Yeah, so primarily on social media, maybe on my LinkedIn, Joao Bocas, on X, I'm Joao B. I was Wearables Expert, but now I changed to Joao B. But yeah, primarily on LinkedIn, or digitalsalutem.com, which is my consultancy in digital health. But if you Google me, I think LinkedIn comes first. That's a tip for everybody out there.
What's
if
that?
you get a very strong LinkedIn profile, LinkedIn is the most powerful SEO out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you Google Joao Bocas, LinkedIn comes first.
I guess it's really cool. So you can potentially Google like the wearables expert, and you would have come up there at the top there. That's good.
I think so.
Amazing. Well, thanks for being here. I'll link everything in the show notes, and a pleasure meeting you.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you so much for having me, Axel.
Thanks, Joe.